Alright, so what I'm going to be doing is I just did a video about helping others learn how to homeschool, standing up for your rights as a parent. I have a channel. I didn't mention it in the last video, but now I will. It's a minimalist pro-lifer, Melba May. That's me. I stand up for babies. I give them a voice, trying to help not only babies but mothers. I am very family oriented. I have worked for years on building your family. So what I will be doing is leaving a lot of resources about homeschooling on my channel, and I'll be kicking that in where I've kind of been like, I've been busy with dealing with the abortion issue, but now I want to get on this and actually think about starting a homeschool business online to help others. So I will be bringing value to you. I will be looking at other homeschoolers. I will be talking about what I've done, so I'm not stealing from them, just what I've done with the different things out there, and I will be working at this. So what I would recommend for the first step, I will be talking about how to homeschool. The first step I would recommend is the why. What is your why? And as I've seen other financial channels, they talk about the why. Why do you do what you do? For me, the why was pretty natural. I had my firstborn son, and I was just like, you know what? I love him so much. I want to be with him all the time. And that was the mothering of me kicking in. I wanted to be the best mother I could be. I just really grabbed motherhood. It was natural for me. I had loved kids. I was raised with a bunch of cousins, a big family, so I wanted to be with him. And then when I heard that you could homeschool your kids, I was like, oh my goodness, really? I was like, I would love to do that. Why would I want him on a bus all day long when I want him with me? But I think something else that played into this, and I talk about post-abortive care and other stuff on my other channels, is they talk about mothers being too protective of their kids after they've had an abortion. I do not feel that was me. I just really feel like once I had him and once he was born, I became very protective naturally of him at the hospital. I mean, I had heard stories of babies getting kidnapped. I heard horror stories of labor. And when I had him, I kept him with me. I didn't have the nurses take him off so that I could sleep. I was in the hospital after a 3-day labor that went awful. I almost lost him. My placenta started to separate. I believe that was from the abortion. But I did not rest. I did not have the nurses take him away. I kept him right beside me, and after I had him, I was only in the hospital like that extra day. I was up and ready. We had the car ready, and I was ready to leave with him, and then stayed up all night with him because I was so infatuated with him and just loved being a mother. So I'm going to be talking about just the different reasons why. And your why should be pretty strong. And what you want to do is you want to read books about others who have a why, because when it comes to the high school years, it gets harder. It gets much harder. You are stretched beyond what you think you could ever do, and you are challenged, and you actually want to give in. And I think one of the things that most mothers have experienced is feeling a sense of failure. I don't know what it is about homeschool moms, but we seem to be under the microscope more than other mothers. And so there is an extra expectation for us, an extra burden for us to do a good job. And with those high expectations, we have an extra burden of making sure that we're doing well, and we can feel failure, I believe, even more than an average mother. And don't be afraid of failure. I've had failure. I've had tons of failure, and failure is okay. So don't let that stop you from homeschooling. And you just do your best. And if the outcome isn't what you wanted, it's still okay. You still did your best, and that's what you're looking at. To do your best, because you will be held accountable one day before God and how you take care of your family. And remember too that your mothering comes first. Your mothering is way more important than being a teacher. And they will naturally learn. Kids are curious. If you leave them alone, they will naturally learn quite a bit on their own. So I will also be talking about going from a very traditional curriculum, bringing school into my homeschooling, to being from there a little more eclectic, to eventually unschooling and letting, not just neglecting them, but letting them learn a lot on their own with my last two, and how well they did with being self-motivated and being more of a guide than a teacher. So definitely they need you more as a mother, and you don't want the homeschooling to come before your mothering.